Hello, I'm Benjamin Coy, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
And I'm Tiffany Green-Williams, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
Joining us is Richard Brethour-Bell. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Richard, thank you so much for joining us. Before we talk about the Black Pride Network, tell us just a little bit about your background and who you are.
Okay, so I was born in Chicago. When I was 7, we moved to South Central Los Angeles because my mother wanted to get away from the gangs in Chicago, so we took on the gangs in LA. um, there at about the age of 13, I was bused to the West San Fernando Valley. And so that was a whole different experience for me being a Black kid from the inner city. And now I'm out kind of in the suburbs in a predominantly white school. It took some years, but I was finally able to go to college and I went to grad school. I do hold a master's degree in health administration. I'm currently an opioid overdose prevention training and development specialist for Santa Fe, New Mexico's Department of Corrections. And that is my daytime job also as a member, Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and Belonging for Interpride, which is the International Organization of Pride Organizers, and they hold the license to World Pride.
Very nice.
Awesome. So speaking of Pride, what is the Black Pride Network and what is the origin story of it?
Okay, so the Black Pride Network is an international organization of pride for Black and Brown people. What we're doing as a network organization, we're bringing all of the prides of color together. That is the goal. So that if we want to know where Black prides are, this is where we can go. I also am available to give workshops on implicit bias, DEI, harm reduction, those kind of things, cultural humility. So it is online, it is virtual. The reason why I thought it was important to start this was because sitting on multiple boards, former president of Santa Fe Pride, Interpride, regional organizations like CAPI, and USAP, which is the United States Association of Prides, it's like pulling teeth to get my board members to actually discuss issues that adversely affect the Black queer community. And so I wanted a place where we're not so much focused on guys in booty shorts, which as a gay man, I don't have a problem with that. But I also want to focus on issues that directly impact our community, the Black community, the brown community. And so we wanted a place where we can talk about police brutality, the importance of being an anti-racist. And it's not enough to say I'm not racist, but what are you doing to make sure that we promote anti-racism and work to combat racism? Also, I wanted to talk about a subject that people don't talk about, and that's the racism that occurs within our communities, within queer spaces, which I refer to as rainbow racism, because it exists, it's real. And the larger prize, which tend to be run by middle-aged cisgender white men, this is not a topic that affects their lives, so they're not really interested in talking about it. And so that was the whole point of creating BPN.
Mm. So given your field, you probably hear these two terms used interchangeably a lot, but how would you define the difference between equity and equality?
Oh, yes, this is something I'm very passionate about. I think we live in a society where, people consider it, well, white folks consider it post-racist, and we're not in a post-racist or post-racial society, as racism still occurs every day. Microaggressions are daily indignities that people of color face. So when it comes to equity, I like to look at it as providing the tools needed for one to gain access. Equality is just simply giving everybody the same thing, the same tools. But if that tool is not directed for your specific needs, then it doesn't really change the narrative. It doesn't really provide access to spaces where we have been historically denied access. So that's why, yes, we certainly do need equity, but we need a combination of equity and equality in order to get to justice. And that's what I want people to remember. Equality is not enough. That's just the baby steps of giving everyone the same thing. I also like to think of in terms of affirmative action. People thought that was about providing equality. It was not. Affirmative action was about equity, giving people the tools that they needed in order to gain opportunity. And then we can get to equality and justice.
Mhm.
Correct, correct. So with that being said, what would be some of your goals and ambitions for the Black Pride Network?
Well, my goal would be for every Black and Brown Pride in the world to be connected to the Black Pride Network. I think there's safety in numbers. I think there's strength in numbers. And the more of us come together and pull our resources together, the better position we would be in to combat what we face from the larger community, as well as the challenges we face within the queer community. So the more of us who are on boards like Interpride, like United States Association of Prides, the better position we would be in to promote promote what we're dealing with as queer people of color. It becomes not a side topic at that point, but a main topic. And another reason I wanted to get this started is because World Pride is going to be in Washington, D.C. I am on the World Pride Human Rights Conference Committee. So it is my job to make sure that the topics that relate directly to us are addressed. And so if I can have a whole team of Black and Brown prides come together with me when we are presenting this information, then I think it's going to go further. I think it's going to reach a lot more people. And then we can have our white allies come in and say, you know what, this is important. We really need to be focusing on that. We know it's capable. We saw it, we came together during the George Floyd protests. We have people all over the world. Unfortunately, 5 minutes later, we were back to normal. And so we need to keep those kind of things going. And that's what I'm hoping to accomplish.
Absolutely. I love that. So you have that going on, but tell us some more about your Perspectives podcast.
Okay, what I love about Perspectives is that we have these unique conversations. You know, for example, with Enterprise has a podcast called Interpod. And I have participated in that. I have given workshops and interviewed people for that. But again, we're not really focused on the key concerns of the Black and Brown queer community. And that is what Perspectives is all about. I do workshops on implicit bias, cultural humility, those kind of things, but I also like to interview people. So we had one interview with one of our board members who's a Black trans woman. And what I wanted to do, yeah, we're going to talk about the challenges that trans women of color deal with, but I also wanted her to talk about joy that she gets from being a trans person, because we never hear that, you know. And she did a really good job. Her name was Jordan Braxton. She did a really good job of explaining the joy that she has. She said, this is something that she's very proud of. This is who she is. She wanted to shout that from the rooftop, and about the happiness that comes with being your authentic self despite the challenges that you face. So that's what Perspective is about. We're bringing diverse people in to talk about their particular challenges, their celebrations, their rose and thorns, those kind of things. And so we're just getting started. We only have 3 or 4 episodes that have already been out there, but I am really looking forward to some of the interviews that are coming up.
Absolutely. I am too. You know, that is so important. Being in this work, we do forget about the roses that come with those thorns. But
Mhm.
we have to remind ourselves that joy is resistance, right? It takes all of that. It takes your struggle. It takes your positives to push it forward. So I'm excited for what's to come with the Perspectives podcast. With that being said, please tell our viewers how they can learn more about Black Pride Network, support, and find out what's upcoming.
Absolutely. So um, You can go to the blackpridenetwork.org. That's going to take you to our website. You can learn more about us. You can become a member. If you are part of a nonprofit organization, a 501c3, membership is free. We wanted to make sure that people have access to one another, as well as educational and awareness opportunities. And as we continue to grow, we will be doing grants. Our networking will grow. We will be more aware of the challenges that other pride organizations are facing. I'm going to do an interview with Nicole Williams, who's the president of Black Las Vegas Prides, and she's going to talk about how, the bigger prize with white leadership gets the bulk of the money from sponsors, and Black prides have to scrounge for what's ever left over. But the more of us who are doing this and figuring out how we're getting sponsorships, the better position we would be in to help organizations like Las Vegas Black Pride. So yes, by all means, please go to the website. You'll also see podcast episodes that we've already released, and give a better idea of what we're working at, what we're trying to accomplish. And also, if you want to be interviewed, if there's a topic you want to discuss, hey, let us know. It's like, hey, I'm interested in giving an interview about the challenges that I'm facing here. Maybe we're in the South, in a small town. I know what that's like. I actually lived in Mississippi, and it's a challenge to be in your authentic self, being a queer person, especially a queer person of color in Mississippi. You're just not wanted and accepted there. So yeah, I want to hear people's challenges and how you're making it through and how you're finding joy.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. And for our viewers, we made it super simple for you. You can find the links to everything in the description box below. Thank you again for joining us, Richard.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
To those watching, please follow Team Rayceen on social media and subscribe to the Team Rayceen YouTube channel.
And viewers, thank you for watching.